Brooklyn Independent Television.
Straight ahead on Sector B, the business of Brooklyn. In an old industrial site in Sunset Park, a new spirit takes hold: vodka.
Vodka is a technically demanding beverage, and we're building all of our own equipment.
The City Foundry, using research, design, and science to revitalize manufacturing in Brooklyn. What's the big picture for business in the borough? Randy Piers talks to the new head of our Chamber of Commerce.
It's hot, it's cool, it's hip, things are happening, people are moving here.
Too many good jobs are going unfilled due to a lack of tech training. Young people can get that training at NPower.
It's completely free, and it's available here.
And in Canarsie, meet the man with the Golden Krust. Lowell Hawthorne visits his newest franchise and tells us the story of the Jamaican beef patty.
The flake falling off, it's a good patty. If there's no flake, it's not good.
So take a big bite and get with the program.
Hello, I'm Randy Piers. Welcome to Sector B, the business of Brooklyn on Brooklyn Independent Television. Though unemployment is still high, we keep hearing that many firms can't find trained workers for good jobs because these days, those jobs require more technical expertise than ever before. While our education system faces all sorts of obstacles in turning out enough qualified people, Sector B's Tati Amara found a homegrown solution, a national nonprofit based in downtown Brooklyn.
Okay, it's a jack that we plug in, and it's operating at what speed? Anybody know?
56K.
56K.
The IT industry is one of the fastest growing in the country, and classes like this one are packed with men and women learning those in-demand skills.
As you know, security has become an extremely important part of working with computer systems because of the fact.
But this isn't your usual class. This one is free. That's right, free.
Everything I found was either you had to pay thousands of dollars for because, it's private institutions or vocational schools. I was like, wow, I couldn't believe it. They're providing all this information to you, all these tools, and it's completely free, and it's available here.
All this is extremely critical when we're working in the information technology field. Today we're going to talk about security requirements based on customer needs.
NPower's Technology Service Corps' mission is to really serve 18 to 25-year-olds from underserved communities, help them to find long-term and secure long-term employment. We have a holistic approach here, so we train them with core IT skills, train them in professionalism and also personal development. So it's not a temporary fix, but it's a long-term fix.
And step one to that fix is to learn the IT skills that are needed in the everyday workplace.
All the things that they would do when they're actually working in a help desk situation and someone calls them and say, hey, my computer doesn't work. And so it doesn't matter whether it's a keyboard that doesn't work or a very complex software or hardware problem, they should be able to fix it.
And when it's time to find a job, the odds are on their side. According to a 2012 Manpower Group survey, IT positions are the third most difficult to fill due to a lack of qualified candidates. While students attain strong, marketable skills, they're also getting a second chance of sorts.
Factors that we're looking for in an individual is really someone who's ambitious, someone who may have the aptitude, or someone who didn't even do well in conventional schooling, but they want to make a change in their life and develop a career.
Like David, who worked a series of part-time jobs after high school before finding this program.
Nothing that was bringing actual money, minimum wage, that kind of thing. So this is perfect. I mean, the opportunities of this program to have like that entry-level position, to get into, start making my way up, it's awesome.
I think what we do is we develop the focus and the drive and the motivation so that when they get out of here, they don't have to continue learning all the new technologies and they don't have to go to school the rest of their life, but they're excited about that.
Students will get their foot in the door, but will always have NPower to lean on.
Many times I call it a safe haven. You may have seen a few alumni in the office there. Many of them graduated years ago. We continue to work with them after they graduate, once while they're in the workforce. We try and offer sort of advanced certifications for them, IT certifications, as well as schooling opportunities. It does not stop after the 22 weeks in the program. It's almost like a lifetime once they become alumni of the program.
For Sector B, I'm Tati Amara.
And that's the thing. And if you enjoy what you're doing, it's not work, it's pleasure.
From Dyker Heights to Ditmas Park, from cannolis to strombolis, Carlo Scissura knows Brooklyn and its business community. The former chief of staff to Brooklyn's #1 booster, Marty Markowitz, recently took the reins of the century-old Brooklyn Chamber of Commerce. In this new role, he represents over 1,400 of the borough's small and large companies. As he takes office, he is charting a course to help them leverage Brooklyn's newfound popularity into an economic engine for New York City. Carlo, thanks for being here.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Great. So listen, I've known you for many years. I've had the pleasure of working with you in several different capacities. I know you're passionate about Brooklyn and its business community. But let's start with just your overall opinion of Brooklyn's economy and where it's going these days.
Well, look, everyone can see just from what's happening in Brooklyn. It's hot, it's cool, it's hip, things are happening, people are moving here. There's excitement in the borough. Last night I was at Barbra Streisand, 18,000 people having a great time. Last week Jay-Z did 8 shows. The Nets and the Knicks are playing. I mean, there is just a buzz of energy surrounding Brooklyn. I think, some statistics came out last week about the economy and how things are improving throughout New York City. But, I tell people all the time, we have to watch and be sure that all of Brooklyn is eating, that all of Brooklyn is really a part of this renaissance. It can't just be that certain neighborhoods get the buzz and the excitement and the fun, and certain neighborhoods, such as places in central Brooklyn, still have 25-30% unemployment, particularly among African-American young men. That's something that we all collectively in Brooklyn have to look at. So while we cheer the Nets coming, while we cheer the buzz around neighborhoods like Williamsburg and downtown Brooklyn and Prospect Heights and all these neighborhoods, we have to be vigilant that we're creating jobs and making sure that everyone in Brooklyn is really realizing this great dream.
So in your role as the new chamber president, and I know you want it to be a chamber for the entire borough, what are some of the strategies you're going to use to reach out to some of these other neighborhoods that have still yet to benefit from some of the economic transformation?
It's amazing. I tell people the Brooklyn Chamber of Commerce represents every neighborhood in Brooklyn. Look, you mentioned it, from Dyker Heights to Ditmas Park. You could say from Bay Ridge to Bedside, from Sunset Park to Starrett City. I mean, we have neighborhoods that really need help. Our job at the Chamber is make sure that both small and big businesses know that we're there for them. So if you're a young person looking for a job in East New York, come to the Chamber. We will help you. We'll hook you up through one of our many programs, whether it's our Small Business Services Center or our Good Help program. We will help you find the job. If you're an employer looking for the best talent, come see us. We have a good database. If you're a restaurant or a shop starting up in Bay Ridge or in Coney Island or in Sheepshead Bay, come see us. We can help you walk through the process of getting your business up and running, and then networking, having you meet people from across the borough. It's important that our reach extend not just in certain neighborhoods. We really have to be the borough's economic development engine and the borough's small business engine, and I think that's what we're doing.
So I know one of the industries that you care deeply about is manufacturing. Yep. And people don't realize it, but Brooklyn still has a sizable manufacturing base here in the borough. What are some of the things that the Chamber could do to help strengthen manufacturing?
Sure. So a great program that you were involved in many years ago called Brooklyn Eats. It's all about Brooklyn and eating and food. So we're going to bring it back this year. It's been away for a while, but we're bringing it back with a little different twist. We're going to say to Brooklyn's food manufacturers, which are growing rapidly, what can we do to help you? So we're going to create a Brooklyn Eats program around everyone making something in Brooklyn. So if you're making soda, if you're jarring pickles, if you're making cannolis, fortune cookies, I mean, I can go on and on. We're going to put on this amazing show for all of these Brooklyn-made products, and we're going to showcase them. And then what we're going to do is we're going to say to each of them, what are your needs? And it's urgent, by the way. There is an urgent need to say to these companies, what will keep you in Brooklyn? As you grow, what will make you grow your business here? How will we make sure that you don't go to Jersey or Connecticut or North Carolina when you go from 5 employees to 50 employees? So these are things that the Chamber is really going to look at. We're going to do a borough-wide economic strategy and study on what we need to do. We're going to work with the City Council and the administration and the Borough President's office and say, look, this is what we've identified. For these small businesses to grow here and to manufacture in Brooklyn, they need these lists, 5 things, 6 things, 7 things. What can we do quickly so that we have room for them here?
So another issue that is very important to small businesses in New York City and certainly in Brooklyn is health insurance.
Yep.
And I know the Chamber in many ways has been a pioneer in helping small businesses to access health insurance. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. Well, as you know, we run Brooklyn HealthWorks, which is an incredible program. We insure employees at almost 1,000 companies throughout the borough, which is amazing. And it's not as simple as just insuring employees anymore or letting employers know that this program exists. With healthcare reform happening, in 12, 13 months, it's going to be the Chamber's job to now move quickly to educate Brooklynites, to educate small businesses, and to let them know what's happening. So we're planning a major spring symposium on the future of healthcare, how it affects Brooklyn business owners, small business owners, employees at these businesses. We hope to announce soon, and I'm going to give you a little scoop, Randy, since you're a dear friend. Right now, to enroll in Brooklyn HealthWorks, you have to be a 2 or more person business. We hope to announce in the new year that we're going to be insuring solos and solo practitioners, independent contractors, one-person operations, which will also revolutionize what we're doing in Brooklyn.
That is fantastic, because Brooklyn has a high concentration of people who work out of their homes.
Absolutely.
As a single consultant or practitioner.
Absolutely. And look, a lot of the new industry in Brooklyn is a one-person operation.
Right.
If you're a graphic designer, if you're a tech company, sometimes it's just one person working. We should be able to reach out to that person and say, hey, we are here for you. Brooklyn HealthWorks is here for you. Come on in and we'll help you out.
So what are some of the other things that you hope to see in the next coming 2 or 3 years as under your leadership at the Chamber?
So I think, jobs, 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 number one issue. How do we make it easy for people to work in Brooklyn, to move around Brooklyn? We're going to be doing a major transportation study. How does transportation affect Brooklyn? One thing I would love to see the Chamber get very involved in, working with elected officials, is making sure that ferry service grows. I love Williamsburg to downtown Brooklyn ferry service. It's wonderful. Brooklyn Bridge Park is amazing. But how about ferry service from Brooklyn Bridge Park to Bay Ridge, to Canarsie, to Coney Island? Imagine that. Imagine if you work in Canarsie, if you live in Canarsie and you work downtown Brooklyn. You can hop a ferry and be at work in 20 minutes. These are things we need to look at, because by doing that, you increase the job base, you do something for the employees, and it's wonderful. So transportation, big issue. Looking at tourism, how do we increase tourism? How do we increase people not just walking over the bridge or touching Brooklyn? Let's have them stay here, and then let's get them out into the borough. Let's get them to Canarsie. Let's get them to Coney Island.
Sure.
Let's get them to the ethnic communities and spend money in our ethnic businesses, and that creates jobs.
So just quickly, because we only have a few seconds left, but I know the recent relaunch of the Good Help program has been a huge success.
Yes.
Do you want to touch upon that?
Sure. So Good Help is a wonderful program that we do in conjunction with the City of New York, the City Council. We work to place individuals in jobs. We work with companies. A company comes to the Chamber and says, hey, I need 20 employees. We make it happen, and it's been amazing.
And it's been helpful to my business as well.
Yes, it has.
So we thank you for that.
It's been great.
Carlo, I am very, very proud and happy that you're in this role, and I want to wish you great success moving forward. Thanks for being here.
It's an exciting time to be in Brooklyn.
It certainly is.
Thank you.
If we learned that a small but dedicated band of engineers, designers, and machinists was working hard trying to revive light manufacturing in Brooklyn, we might say, hey, I'll drink to that. In fact, I'll have a shot of vodka. Why vodka? As Sector B's Krishnan Vasudevan tells us, that's the first product they've cooked up at the City Foundry, based in an old industrial site in Sunset Park.
The City Foundry is a small-scale research and development firm, but by small scale, it's not so much that we are small. It's more that we focus on small manufacturing.
We want people to be making things that can be sold at a reasonable price, making them here, and making them in-house as much as possible, as much as they want to.
The small manufacturing has gone the way of the dodo. So we bridge the gap between one-off cottage industry style manufacturing and super industrial. So we will make the machines that will make 1,000 pieces because they don't exist.
Perched on the 6th floor of a Sunset Park warehouse complex, the City Foundry, a 5-man creative collective, is using art and science to improve local manufacturing. Their first project is the Industry City Distillery, which is redesigning how vodka is distilled.
Vodka is a technically demanding beverage. It's a spirit. It's a technically demanding spirit, and we're building all of our own equipment. We're purpose building all of our own equipment, and there's no real better way to test than to make a technically demanding product. With vodka, you can't really put it in a wood cask and age it. You can't say, well, that wasn't so great, but let's just say this batch has body, has some serious character to it.
You can't really hide anything with the vodka. It is a clear, unaged liquor. So anything that happens throughout the entire process, you're going to taste at the end. So if you're doing things really, really well, you're going to taste it. There's no real margin for error.
Nearly all the equipment in the distillery has been modified or custom built from the ground up in less than a year, and many of the components are often found in a science lab, not a distillery.
We're using a technology that is something that should be fairly unobtainable for the average distillery. We're using a biotech system of generating potable alcohol in a way that is actually more cost effective than doing it the traditional beverage route. The fractional process will literally allow you to separate out all the components in the alcohol and take them off one by one.
Though they have a lot more control over their vodka than the average distillery, the City Foundry team isn't trusting their palates alone in coming up with the right flavor for their product.
We're involving the consuming public in a large-scale experiment. We're trying out a couple different flavors, but we're going to approach this as if we don't know what a good vodka is.
You can Twitter us, you can Facebook us, or you can call us directly, and somebody will pick up the phone and you can tell us exactly what you think. And we've had people do that.
As the first two iterations of the Industry City vodka, which are bottled in-house to limit cost, have hit store shelves, the distillery is constantly improving its process to meet a growing demand.
Our development process is entirely iterative. Things do change day to day, and that's intentional. The bioreactors were made the way they are, not just because they produce product at a quicker rate, but it's so that we can prototype at a quicker rate. Every day we're able to test 20 to 30 gallons of new material with no downtime.
The foundry plans to launch their final product early next year and hopes by showing their process to customers through their website and educational PSAs, people will continue to demand their product.
The whole idea is that we're making alcohol in a very different way, and we want to show you how, because we feel that if you see what decisions we made along the way to get to our final product, you'll make the same decisions when you're at the liquor store.
To be able to make a product that is able to stand on its own without needing to be harassed into shape by things like filters or additives is very difficult, and I can't think of a better challenge.
If you sometimes doubt that America can still be the land of opportunity, we want to tell you an old-fashioned tale of the immigrant who makes good, very good. It's set in Brooklyn, of course, in Canarsie to be specific, but whatever your neighborhood, you may already be one of his customers.
This man knows a pretty good Jamaican beef patty when he tastes one. That's because he's Lowell Hawthorne, founder and CEO of Golden Krust Caribbean Bakery and Grill, which is now one of the most recognized beef patty brands from Massachusetts to Miami. We met Lowell at his new Canarsie franchise store, which adds one more to the list of over 100 franchises he currently owns. And business is expanding. For Hawthorne, who immigrated from a small-town bakery in St. Andrew, Jamaica, to the Bronx in 1989, the beef patty was his entree to the American dream.
One's dreams and sometimes one's accomplishment depends a whole lot on their upbringing. I was fortunate to have two wonderful parents, Mavis and Ephraim Hawthorne, who basically passed on to me some great spiritual values that is based on certain biblical principles. And not only that, they also passed on to us the bakery business. So I was so fortunate to have parents who guided me in that direction.
A direction that led him to writing The Baker's Son, which was recently published by Brooklyn's own Akashic Press. It's a memoir that chronicles Hawthorne's roots in Jamaica, his entrepreneurial journey in America, and his vision for the future of the GK enterprise.
We had bakery experience. We were not known for patties. So as you can imagine, our first couple of bakeries, maybe 7 or 8 bakeries, we were buying patties from one of my competitors to remain nameless. And for some reason or the other, the competitor thought, you know what, this guy is growing too rapidly. Maybe we should clip his wings. And they cut off our patty supplies, and we had to go and fed on our own. And that was a very interesting dynamic in the Golden Krust organization. Through persistence and determination, we never threw in the white flag. We fought. We went all over in quest for the perfect patty recipes.
A tray-off spicy beef patty. It's baked, we put it here, we lift it with this palm so that we can place it in the bags for the customer.
Becoming a franchisor is not easy. I'm quite sure maybe that's why we have no African-American franchisor in this great country. There are a lot of requirements, a lot of metrics that must be met. You have to own the rights to the name of your business. You have to invest in your intellectual property. And you have a product. You must have a good product. The food is good, the service is good.
Yes, the service is great. I don't have no complaints.
Having became a franchisor in 1996, the GK family and its executive body realized that to be a successful franchisor, patties and cocoa bread alone will not do it. So we introduced the food concept in 1996, and that's when we started selling other Caribbean cuisine like oxtail, curry goat, and many others.
Serving of rice and peas, steamed vegetable. Extra gravy?
Not too much.
Not too much.
But today the GK brand is a force to be reckoned with. We're not only a franchisor, we have different channels. We have the club stores, the Costco's, the Sam's Clubs, and Dollar Trees. We're in over 7,000 supermarkets. And when you know a good patty, once you bite into it, you always have flake going all over. You can see the flake falling off. It's a good patty. If there's no flake, it's not good. Excellent. Really appreciate the work that they're doing here. It's great to have them, and we could not have done it without franchising at the Boris's family.
Beautiful. So what do we think about him? This man, Mr. Hawthorne.
In my journey, failure is certainly not an option. You know, one can fail, but we have to be able to rise again and keep going. And I've always said, and I will say it now, that the world is as big as your dream, so we should never stop dreaming.
There's no doubt that Hawthorne exemplifies the great American success story.
This is the best thing since sliced bread.
A success story that just tastes more like Jamaica.
Excellent, excellent.
For Sector B, I'm Fred Brown.
That's it this month from Sector B. To watch any of these stories again, and to see all of our past business stories, go to our website at brickartsmedia.org/BIT and then click on Sector B. And you can follow us on Facebook or Twitter on BK Independent TV. I'm Randy Piers. Thanks for watching.
Watch this and other Brooklyn Independent Television episodes online at brickartsmedia.org/BIT.